just been overwhelmed by the response from mostly our allies.
Right now at noon, Secretary of the Treasury speaking after President Donald Trump announcing a 90-day pause on some of his new tariffs. We're seeing the immediate effect on the stock markets. Plus, Bryan Kohberger, the man who killed 4 Idaho college students, back in court today. How the 2-day hearing will set the ground for the upcoming trial. And
our hearts are going out towards that family, and, it's just sad to see.
What we're learning today as police investigate the deaths of a mother and her 3 children in Cornelius. And later, Portland City Council considering a change to its noise ordinance, why some say the current policy discriminate against minority businesses. Your news at noon starts right now. Good afternoon, I'm China Green. We have breaking news from Washington, D.C., where President Donald Trump has backed off most tariffs. However, the U.S. is now raising the tax rate on Chinese imports to 125%. The White House says there is a 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs against most of the country's biggest trading partners, but it will maintain a 10% tariff on nearly all global imports. Now, it's not clear what caused the president to change his mind. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent spoke about an hour ago and said this was the plan all along.
We've just been overwhelmed by the response from mostly our allies who want to come and negotiate in good faith. So we are expecting them to come with their best deal. As I said a week ago today, don't retaliate. Hold your ground. Let's see what happens. And China, they kept escalating, and now they have 125% tariffs that will be effective immediately.
And following President Trump's announcement of the pause on some tariffs, the stock market has seen a big surge. So here's a live look right now at the big board. The S&P 500 was up 7.8% in afternoon trading. The Dow rose 6.8%, marking its biggest gain since 2020. And the Nasdaq is up close to 10%. Now, before this, anxiety around the rollout of the tariffs has fueled 4 days of significant drops for stocks, losses not seen since the pandemic. Big corporations like Nvidia and Apple also bouncing back this afternoon with a surge of more than 10%. We also have some breaking news here in Oregon. The Oregon Department of Environmental Quality says it's dealing with a cyber attack. Now, we don't have many details right now, but we do know DEQ is currently in the process of shutting down networks to contain the hack. In other news this afternoon, an investigation is underway in Cornelius after a mom and her 3 children were found dead yesterday. We now know the 37-year-old mother lives on North 14th Avenue near Davis Street with her 3 kids who were 2, 5, and 7 years old. Around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, Washington County deputies say a community member discovered their bodies and called police. Detectives haven't said how the mother and 3 children died, but authorities did note that Violent Crimes Unit is helping with the case.
Our hearts are going out towards that family, and, it's just sad to see.
This is a very challenging thing to come to. I can't even imagine what the families and the friends of the individuals are going through right now.
Law enforcement say there is no danger to the public and currently don't believe there is an outstanding suspect. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Washington County Sheriff's Office. Happening right now, the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students is back in court today. The 2-day hearing could lay the ground rules for a long list of evidence that may be admitted in trial. NBC's Liz Kreutz has more.
Bryan Kohberger's attorney is expected to face off with prosecutors in court over what evidence may be used at his highly anticipated murder trial in August. Today's hearing likely his attorney's last chance to make their case before the judge after filing a flurry of motions containing more than 1,000 pages of arguments over the last several months. The legal team sparring over whether to allow text messages sent by the 2 surviving roommates as the alleged murders were happening and this harrowing 911 call.
911 location of your emergency.
Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
That call made the morning of November 13th, 2022, when Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez were found fatally stabbed in their home just outside the University of Idaho campus. Kohberger has maintained his innocence since he was charged with the murders after a nationwide manhunt. Ahead of his trial, testimony from one of the surviving roommates also in question. Investigators say she told them she saw a masked man in the house with only his bushy eyebrows visible.
She described seeing someone wearing all black, a mask with only a portion of their face.
Among the other evidence, Koberger's defense is attempting to exclude Amazon records allegedly showing Koberger purchased a black balaclava mask prosecutors say is similar to the one the victim's roommate described, and purchases for a K-bar knife and sheath, like the knife sheath found at the murder scene, which prosecutors say had DNA that matches Koberger's. Meanwhile, Koberger's lawyers arguing his autism diagnosis should keep prosecutors from seeking the death penalty, while signaling they may be preparing to keep their client off the witness stand. The father of victim Kaylee Gonzalez says the seemingly endless stream of filings and new revelations mean the gruesome murders are never out of mind.
It's like a slow torture where just a little comes out, a little more comes out.
Here back at home, take a good look at your screen. There was a large street takeover. This was on Southeast 2nd and Morrison. Police tell us they didn't break it up because they didn't have enough officers on hand.
You can't send a couple police officers in to remedy a situation that's got hundreds of people and involves speeding, dangerous vehicles.
Portland police pointed out that these crowds are often bring firearms and are hostile to police, and in the past have vandalized vehicles with officers inside. Police say they will continue to address both large and smaller pop-up events as they can in the future. All right, headed over to Rod Hill now with a look at weather. He is up on the weather deck. It's looking, is that sun I see? Is that what that is?
That's a big thumbs up, China. Yes, there's a reason. Early this morning I said, I think I'll go up to the KGW weather deck, brought to you by Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking, and enjoy the sun. I mean, it's not clear outside, as I'm sure you've noticed if you looked out your own window, but it is partly cloudy and you can start to feel the warmth of the sun. So it's going to be a nice afternoon, no rain chance at all. Here are some live cameras for you. We'll start off at Lincoln City, our Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera. You can see the sun there. It's been one of the sunnier spots all day, actually. They've had some cloudiness at times. 56 degrees is the temperature. And this pattern of basically partly cloudy skies overall is across the valley. Again, still some cloudiness around. 51 degrees as you look out in wine country. That's our Chehalem tasting room camera down in Sherwood. Portland, 58 degrees, so we are definitely on track to warm up to about 67. There is a bit of a breeze I can feel up here coming in from the northeast. By the way, it's blowing against my right ear up here, I would say. We'll be still mid-50s at 8 o'clock. We're still tracking some rain coming in tomorrow. The latest Futurecast timeline, I wouldn't expect that rain. But for now, China, your plans for this afternoon are a big thumbs up. Going to be really nice. Again, the high 67 degrees.
Thank you, Rod. Harney County deputies are searching for a woman missing for 6 days. So take a good look at your screen here. 29-year-old Kaylee Burt was reported missing last Friday as she was traveling from Klamath Falls to Iowa. The sheriff's office located her car in a remote part of southern Harney County on Sunday, but Burt wasn't there. Deputies say Burt has brown hair, hazel eyes, weighs 120 pounds and is 5'2" tall. She has multiple tattoos. One's on her right wrist. It's the shape of a lighthouse. Anyone with information is asked to call 911 or the Harney County Sheriff's Office. An Oregon man will spend the next 50 years in federal prison after he abducted and sexually abused a teenager from Canada. Yesterday, the 16-year-old girl had the opportunity to address her abuser in court. So cameras were not allowed in federal court. But this is video of him of Clackamas County Court for crimes related to the case. Federal prosecutors say in 2022, Noah Medrano met the girl online, groomed her, and drove her to Edmonton, Alberta, where he sexually abused her multiple times. He later brought her across the border to Oregon City, where he sexually abused her for days before the FBI found them. In January, Medrano pleaded guilty to 2 federal charges. Yesterday, the girl, now 16 years old, read in a poem in court she titled, "Why Me?" saying, quote, "You hurt me so much, now I am damaged," and went on to say, "I'm a survivor, I'm a warrior." Medrano still faces several charges in Clackamas County for raping and kidnapping the teenage girl, which could give him even more jail time. In an update, Portland leaders are looking to change the way the city enforces noise complaints. The councilor who introduced the plan says its current policies are outdated and subjective. Amma McCarty has a story.
The specific proposal comes directly from the music community. who have spent the last 5 years attempting to get Portland City Hall to take action.
Tuesday afternoon, Councillor Jamie Dunphy from District 1 presented an ordinance to reform the city's noise code by repealing one of two ways Portland's been enforcing noise complaints.
This is a very blunt tool that the police have to determine something is, quote, plainly audible and decide it is too loud and shut it down without any sort of recourse, without documentation, and without any consideration of existing permits.
As an example of how current policy can hurt businesses and venues, the speakers brought up the closure of Soleil's, which operated in this building here behind me. It was Portland's last Black-owned jazz club on historic Alberta Street. Eben Hoffer, a local musician and director, detailed how, when a resident filed a noise complaint under one code, a more objective policy based on measuring noise decibels, it was denied. But when the same resident turned to a different code and repeatedly complained, the club ultimately closed down.
There are serious equal protection violations here. Everybody in the city should be operating under the same rules.
Canal?
Aye.
The committee voted unanimously to refer this to the full council to make two codes one that is both measurable and fair.
The music industry is a hard industry to flourish in regardless, but at the very least they deserve consistent standards.
In Southwest Portland, Alma McCarty, KGW News.